Hey, I hope you're doing well. Having a rough start this morning and it's making beating myself up like always wanting to be reliable and be able to show up for other people. But that worry is at the cost of putting yourself on the back burner to other people, even if it's something small like wanting to be consistent with and reliable for your job or whatever people you may have in your life. Like, thankfully, I don't have a lot of people in my life I need to show up for. Um, but with my work situation, like I've been a little late every Tuesday for the past couple months because uh, it's just the one day I go in early to put the delivery away, and I'm supposed to be there for 9. But in order to do that, I have to take a bus that's an hour earlier than the bus I normally take. So I've usually been taking the 9 bus and getting there at like 9:15, which thankfully my boss is really cool about. But I beat myself up really hard about it, and I say this more in the context of just like, you know, I feel so stuck lately, and I have for a while in this repetitive phase of like wanting to get off the Suboxone that I've been on, wanting to get off all, that's the only medication I'm consistently on, thankfully, but I've been on it for so long that it's not an easy feat to come off. I've done it once, took a long time. Um, and I was doing it a year and a half ago. I had myself down to half a milligram a day, and then I had a situation where I got really screwed over by my psychiatrist in the pharmacy. I got accused of doing something I didn't do, which I was later able to come around and prove that I didn't do. They said they had video of me selling drugs, my prescription. They said some came in and gave them a video, which later turned out to be the story was, no, the manager of the pharmacy just received a phone call from some spiteful person who I had just called out for something, told them they had a video of me selling my drugs, which I knew never existed, but being an addict and being stigmatized your whole life, like, you find it easier to just be like, I'm not even gonna. I know how these people look at me. I know how people think of me. I'm not even gonna try to defend myself because it's just gonna hurt even more. Just to you know have them say, "Oh yeah, you're just a junkie. Of course you sold your pills." So I got blacklisted from my Adderall, which I'd been on for years. At a point when I'd been coming off my Suboxone too, and in the midst of having to come off the Adderall cold turkey, um, at also a very delicate time in my life. I talked about this in a recent video, but I had to make the decision to go back up on my Suboxone, and I really beat myself up about that because um, it took so much time and effort and work and just pushing through to get down to that point, being a half milligram a day. And I've been in the process of trying to taper back down since then. Well, no, I went back up and stabilized at a higher dose for a while. I'm trying to come back down now, and it's like this is part of this deja vu cycle I've been talking about in videos lately. It's like I've been here before. I've been in this moment before where it's like I just wish more than anything I could just like take a couple months to myself, not have to worry about paying the bills and catching up on my debts and stuff, but it's just not possible, and you just have to keep pushing every day. So then you wake up every day and it's the same frustration because it just feels like you're stuck on repeat. Because I've been at this moment many times throughout the last decade. I don't know, because I was on this medication before, and I say all this like, yeah, obviously I'm getting a little upset. I'm very I just feel so worn down, and so feeling like this and being caught in these repetitious cycles, it's easy to turn to your old comforts, but trying so hard not to do that. Like, I'm not even though I'm upset right now, I really dodged a bullet the other day. Thanks, Adam Butler. You the man. Your text came through at a time when it's just that divine timing. You take it or leave it. But um, it's I always to some extent put myself on the back burner and put others before myself. But again, I have to pay the bills. I've never had anybody to fall back on. I've never had a parents or family to be like, hey, I'm kind of struggling right now. Could I, like, come stay with you, or like borrow some money or something? I've only ever had money stolen from me by my family. Go figure that. Um, oh god, it's all right to cry, dude. It's okay. Um, I'm not gonna go use, but this I'm just I'm recording this just because I text my boss once again. I'm just like, hey, I'm sorry I'll be a little late, but also like apologize. I'm like, hey, I know I haven't been as reliable lately. I was really struggling to hold things together on my end in some ways, and thankfully I'm really grateful to work where I work, even though being a line cook is part of this monotony deja vu that drives me insane. Like, um, I know we're gonna get out of this, but efforts feel more than futile sometimes, and looks kind of nice out. See, one thing I really am grateful for is I'm gonna be leaving in 20 minutes to go walk and catch the bus. And I know I talk about my 1.5 mile walk to the bus every morning, but I really am so grateful for that, because even once I'm outside just for a couple minutes, I start feeling better. And I get more exercise just in that one walk than most people get. In some cases, their entire week. It's just crazy to think about. Like, there's one day last week, I checked my steps 14.5 miles, just walking around between work and just, walking around for fun after work. Um, but hold on in these moments where again, efforts feel futile. You feel hopeless. You feel alone. And I know I'm not alone, especially the more I've been doing this and sharing these videos. I know I'm not alone. I know there's a lot of us out there that are feeling a lot of heavy things. But it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And I say that from the philosophy and mindset of someone who's accepted that whatever fate, whenever it comes my way, I understand that's my time. But I do think I'm gonna be here for a very long time, so there's no need to worry about me doing something stupid to myself. I plan to live as long as I can, but in order to do that, sometimes you have to be vulnerable and speak and not be afraid to be a dude crying on the internet and say you're not okay. Yeah, dude, I've made it this far. If I can make it this far, I know I can make it anywhere I set my heart and mind on, but that doesn't change the fact that you're stuck sometimes. And I'm slowly putting pieces back together and trying to figure this out. Um, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Wait till you see how far we take this. Because despite me feeling upset, I know we're alive during a very special time. Have a great day.